Hello you guys, and welcome back to the last video of 2024. We're in that awkward in between Christmas and New Year's where I kind of want to sit and rot. I kind of want to declutter my entire house, and I'm feeling motivated and excited for the new year, but I'm also just feeling honestly exhausted as the holidays are wrapping up, the year's coming to an end. I'm not really sure what day of the week it is. You know the vibes. As I was sitting down to plan this video, I was originally going to make it super motivating with like lots of goal setting, just being productive, and I am gonna show me cleaning my house because I am getting that itch this week just to declutter and clean a bunch of places that have been neglected this year just for a fresh start. But while you can watch me clean and feel a little bit productive and motivated, I was feeling a little bit convicted this year about these videos that I usually do at the end of the year because I just don't feel like it's very fitting for the season that I'm in this year. Really, I just want to sit and chat and encourage you guys this year as it comes to an end. I have a lot of thoughts. My 2024 was full. It was full of some of the best things. I had my daughter this year. I became a mom of 2. I officially fully left subbing in the classroom. I haven't been back since February. We traveled a lot. We just had a lot. And again, the best things, but it was busy and it was chaotic. And most of the year, truthfully, I just felt like I was in survival mode and definitely surviving, not thriving. And I definitely accomplished a lot of things. If I went back and looked at my goals for this year and looked at all I accomplished and created a really cute chatty video talking about all the things that I did right this year, sure, I could do that. I did accomplish a lot. However, it doesn't feel fitting this year because even though physically I accomplished a lot, mentally there are so many things that I want to grow in and things I want to do differently this next year. And so that's kind of what I want to touch on today. I think when we view life as a series of accomplishments and goals and tasks to be checked off of a list, it's just not healthy. And I think that's how we can fall into comparison, feeling like we're not doing enough, feeling like we're falling behind or falling short in life. So that is not what we're going to be doing today. What I want to focus on moving forward is less about accomplishments, productivity, success. You can fill in the blank for whatever it is for you. But what I want to focus on in 2025 is who God has called me to be. So I always pick a word for the year. And for next year, when I was sitting and kind of thinking about what I wanted it to be, I heard the word peace. This is something that I strived for a lot this year, but I have felt very far from that, to be honest. Most of my days feel very chaotic and busy and overwhelming, and I can't blame my circumstances, even though having 2 kids is a lot of work. The chaos that I feel is usually internal. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. This comes from Luke 6:45, and this is a verse that has really stuck with me this year in those moments when I feel like I get really caught up in just the world and in my flesh. The fruit that I produce is just evidence of what's already rooted in my heart. I can't expect to reap a harvest of peace if there is not peace already rooted in my heart. I brought these thoughts to the Lord recently because I feel like I'm always striving for peace, and I know that peace comes from God, and I just can't seem to hang on to it. And something that he told me that I feel like might resonate with some of you is that sometimes I confuse numbness for peace. I desire peace, but instead I settle for numbness. And I numb myself with the things of this world, whether it's social media, work, staying busy, watching TV, being productive. I'm sure we all have things we can fill the blank in that we do to stop feeling anything. We don't want to feel what we're feeling. We want to be numb. I think it's the big reason why our generation is so addicted to our phones and to social media. Is it's numbing for us. It is like an addiction that numbs our brain and our mind from feeling and thinking too much. And it works for a little bit, but it doesn't heal the root. I'm settling for numbness when I could be sitting in the presence of the Prince of Peace. And that really struck me. I really felt like God just kind of got a hold of me and told me this lie that I've been believing, that numbness and peace are the same. And when I'm trying to fill the void of desiring peace in my home, peace in my heart, peace out of my mouth, all of these things, I'm settling for numbness instead. And they are not the same. The only one who can actually give us true peace is Jesus. And the only way that we can receive peace is by meeting with him, and his presence alone restores and revives us. And sometimes I ask for peace or I ask for joy, but I don't even take a minute to just sit and meet with him. I just kind of hope that he's gonna listen to my prayer and make me kind and make me patient and gracious, but I'm not actually sitting in his presence. So that is my main goal for 2025, peace. But also just to sit and be with Jesus, to be intentional, to make time for him, and to incorporate the Lord into every minute of my day. It's almost impossible to spend a bunch of time with someone and not start to reflect them. And if I saturated myself in prayer and in worship and in sitting in the presence of God this year, how will my life look differently a year from now? How much more patience will I have with my children? How will my speech towards myself and towards others change? How will my heart change? So my only resolution this year, if you will, is just to be as much like Jesus as I possibly can. And practically, I do have a few things that I'm going to try to do to make this more tangible for me. It's one thing to say, I want to be closer to God this year, and it's another to actually let your daily habits reflect that. So first, something I'm going to do is soak my home in worship music. I personally tend to get really overwhelmed and overstimulated, especially with noise, so I rarely put music on, but if there's something playing, it's usually the Frozen soundtrack or something like that my toddler loves. And there's nothing wrong with kids' music, but my toddler has a Tony. She can listen to that all day if she wants to. But I've decided that a boundary that I'm going to set for myself is that on my speaker and on my phone and on my devices, I'm going to just constantly be playing worship music. I think I just want to have a speaker in my kitchen playing worship music just on repeat literally all day, just to fill my home with his presence at all times of the day. And then the next tangible thing is prayer. This year, I decided that I'm going to start a prayer journal, and I'm going to write down people's prayer requests. And then every single day I will go down this list and pray for people and their needs. I did this at one point. I don't remember if it was this year or last year, but I absolutely loved it. I just kind of fell out of the habit of doing it, and so I want to get back into that. But it was such a cool blessing to go back and see so many answered prayers. And also I think it's important because God hears our prayers. Like, he hears prayers and he answers prayers. And God changes you and your heart when you take the time to pray for other people and to pray for yourself. I just had this convicting thought the other day of how often am I complaining to others and never actually asking God for help. How often when someone reaches out and asks me for help or for prayer or has a problem in their life, how often am I actually praying for them when I say I'll be praying for you, and not just respond with a quick like, oh, I'll be praying for you, shoot up a quick prayer and then move on with my day. But I want to actually write it in my prayer journal and consistently daily pray for that need and then follow up with them. Because again, how often do I actually follow up with these people that I'm praying for? So the enemy just loves to see us discount prayer and just forget about it and not utilize it. He doesn't want us to use it like the weapon that it is. God gave us prayer here on earth to use as a weapon. It is so powerful. James 5:16 says, therefore, confess your sins to each other and pray for each other so that you may be healed. The prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective. And that doesn't mean that God's going to grant every wish like a genie, but man, he hears and he loves to hear you pray. And again, I think it's impossible when you are spending your days saturated in worship and in prayer. How do you not change? How do you not be more like the Lord? How much differently will the fruit of my life look? And that kind of ties into the third thing that I'm going to do this year. This is probably my last tangible thing, but I am going to read the Bible in a year again this year. I did this in 2023 and it was truly incredible. I purposely didn't do it in 2024 because I knew I would be having a baby and I just kind of wanted to be able to have the flexibility, but I wish that I would have, because it's really hard to get into reading your word when you don't have a plan. So if you have never read your Bible before, or you don't know where to start, or you don't know what to do, I would highly suggest just finding a plan on an app, on Pinterest. You can look it up. You can have a daily plan anywhere, a daily devotional. There's so many options out there, but it just keeps you accountable. It keeps you continuing reading. And I found that my Bible reading this year compared to last year was much different. I feel like I was much less consistent. I usually did read my word every single day, but it was very random and I wasn't consuming nearly as much. Like I really did not read. I mean, I read the entire Bible in 2023 and I don't know how much I actually read in 2024. So in 2025, we're going to bring that goal back. We're going to read the Bible in a year. I have not picked a plan yet, but I will definitely be sharing that over on Instagram when I do pick a plan if you want to read it as well. I just highly encourage you, if you've never done that before, to do it. I think it's just good to get in the rhythm of reading your word every day. Yeah, those are my big goals, I guess, this year. I definitely have other tangible goals that are not necessarily related to that, but I feel like I don't need to share my list of accomplishments for this year and my list of goals that I want to hit next year, because life is more than just checking a box and completing a list. I've also just been feeling tired. This year, like I said, was super full, and even just this December has been so full, and it brings me so much joy. They're all really beautiful things that I'm really grateful for, but God's just really been showing me the importance of rest. And I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I really feel like it's not. I feel like there are a lot of us maybe that are ending this year just feeling tired, whether you're tired of whatever season you're in. Maybe you're in a season of waiting, or it was a really, really challenging year for you and you're hoping that 2025 has better things in store. Or maybe you had a really beautiful, great year like I did, but like me, you're just feeling worn down and exhausted from how busy it's been and how chaotic and jam-packed it's been. No matter what, God gives you rest, and you don't need to strive. You don't need to set this giant list of things that you need to accomplish. And if you didn't accomplish a single thing this year, first of all, you did. Even if you didn't check off your own list that you set at the beginning of the year, you did a lot this year. Give yourself some grace, give yourself some credit. Whether you are working full-time, you are a stay-at-home parent, you're in college or high school, no matter what season you're in and what ministry God has called you to walk in right now, it is so purposeful and fruitful. And I'm just praying that you see that even if your year didn't go the way that you wanted it to or expected it to, every step was so ordained and every step was so beautifully orchestrated by the Lord for your good. Even if you haven't seen it yet, nothing is on accident and everything is for His glory and your good. I think it would be really cool if you would flood the comments with just one thing that God did this year, one move of God, or one thing He blessed you with, or one ministry opportunity He had this year. Because here's the thing, God does things for you daily, multiple times a day, whether you see it and notice it or not. I just think it would be so cool if you would comment one thing, even that God did this year. I can't even pick one. There are so many things that He did this year that just blew me away and just showed me of His mercy and His grace and His love for me, and I know He did the same for you. So I would love for you to comment that. I think it would just be good for you and for me and for everyone reading the comments, just to be reminded going into a new year what it's really about, like what God does and how He already goes before us. He provides for us. There are ways that He's making that you don't even know you need yet, and there are plans He has that you haven't even dreamed of yet. And I'm just excited for a new year, because it's a new year of opportunities to love the Lord better, to love people better, and I'm excited for 2025, you guys. I'm feeling really good about it. I'm feeling really hopeful. I hope you guys are too. I am so excited to go read all of your comments about what God has done for you this year, and I am praying for you as we head into a new year. Thank you so much for watching me clean and be productive. Hopefully it made you feel a little bit motivated, but you know what? If not, that's okay. I hope that you feel encouraged just by my words and my prayers for you, and I hope you have a wonderful end of the year, and I will see you guys in 2025. Bye, friends.